live.
We are.
Yes, we're live.
Oh boy.
Starting.
Let me find it. Oh, this is not in the group.
You see it?
I can tell you right now.
Not the group, it's the page.
The page.
Yeah, the like page. I tag you too, so you should get a notification and see the why.
There it is. I'm going to like it because I'm a narcissist. And then I'm going to post it to my bloody page.
All right. Let me start, and I can share while I talking.
Want to be a millionaire.
See, this one is running so slow.
Do you want
Anyhow,
to be
I can fix that tonight. I just want to make sure the audio is good.
I'm going to be a millionaire too, man.
Yeah!
In the next 5 years.
500 of them things.
I have a very good explanation on how.
Alright, well, let's see. I can start it right now. Alright, welcome back to the Entrepreneur to Entrepreneur Shift the Culture podcast. Different crew today. Travis ducking out on me.
Ducking.
Gail is on official business. I don't even think Gail on the island. I think Gail slip away somewhere and chilling on one next island somewhere. But we have, you've been on before, Mr. J. Isaacs.
Yeah, I've been on once.
Yeah, you've been on before. Mr. J. Isaacs is here. And we're going to have an interesting discussion today because there was something said yesterday. And it really got me, I don't want to say upset because I wasn't really angry, but I was disappointed in what was said and who said it, right?
Right.
Because it was what most people consider to be a prominent or a big name politician. And they were on a talk show speaking about, the economy and all of that stuff.
Right.
And how we need to take back, ownership of our resources and all of that good stuff, which I agree with.
Which is true.
Which is true, which makes sense. No, a lot of it made sense. But when they went out and said...
off the cuff, and they went totally out the blue in campaign mode.
Yeah, in campaign mode as they do, and they say a bunch of... Well, let me not say they say nonsense, but they say stuff and they package it completely wrong.
Yeah,
right?
right?
Politicians in the Bahamas tend to package things terribly.
Yes.
And I think what they did was they packaged this product terribly. The idea and the concept was admirable.
Right.
It was ambitious, which is good.
Yes.
But the way they packaged it was what I had an issue with.
Wrong.
Right?
Okay.
And what it basically was saying that they're going to, or they plan to create 500 new millionaires per year in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, where we have a population of 350 to 400,000 people.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So, now, like I said, the ambition is good.
Right.
All for that. I want to make more millionaires. I wish we would get more. We need it desperately. I wish we would get more into innovation and entrepreneurship. But, like I said,
saying it like that, 500.
the numbers.
Was it 500 per year?
500 per year, because the host of the show even repeated that's 2,500 new entrepreneurs in the next 5 years. I mean, not entrepreneurs, sorry.
To millionaires.
New millionaires
Right.
in the next 5 years.
Okay.
So what my issue was with was the number and the time frame.
Okay.
And this is often what politicians tend to do.
Okay.
They sell dreams.
All right.
You understand? All they had to do was say, listen, we are all for entrepreneurship and making sure that we own our land, own our resources, and invest in our people so that they can empower themselves and enrich themselves and, become millionaires.
Yes.
Going through the process.
Right.
But they say that you are going to create 500 new millionaires per year.
How?
Houseway.
Okay. Here's the thing. And like we just clarified that this was them speaking off the cuff in the excitement of trying to beat politicians, right? And these guys that said it, I'm not going to run from it. It's from the DNA, and these guys are respected business people and politicians, right? Now, from investigating the text, when you sent me the text, I was like, I couldn't believe that was said.
Yes.
Right?
And I wish I had the show. I was too busy today. I wanted to actually get the clip so we could get the full context of what they said. But I'll probably get it another day.
So I made a call to some of my friends within the organization, and they were like, no, go and read the Vision 2017, their plan, right? And I did so. I downloaded it, I looked at it, and I said, okay, well, this makes sense, and this is how this could happen. So apparently,
what did it entail?
Give
me some details.
It entailed a $500 million economic stimulus package for the Bahamas. One.
Who was this stimulus going to?
regular behemoth. Now, hold on, wait. Let me just paint it. It's several things, because we all know that the government's job is not to quote unquote make millionaires.
Exactly.
But I would say nurture the landscape and economy of the country.
Exactly.
To promote the growth of entrepreneurs.
They're supposed to create the environment that makes it conducive for people to make themselves millionaires.
And from what I read, that's the overall plan by doing certain things, right? So my thing is the 500 millionaires every year for 5 years. From what I got, 500 is their ambitious number over 5 years, like the entire thing. You know what I mean?
That ain't what they say.
I know that's not what they said, but I'm saying what I interpreted from what I read.
Well, you interpreted
from my investigations. Like I was having a conversation, and I brought up Latario. I don't know if you remember Latario, who owns Bahamas Striping. Right. He was a grant recipient under the Free National Movement self-starter program, where they were giving out, like, I think there was $1 million, and he got like it was 5,000. He was one of the recipients. The plan was $1 million, but he got the 5, and then he eventually made a few $1 million from doing road projects, airport projects, and stuff like that. And that he was a 1 in a million chance.
And I was going to say, and this is what my issue is, because Lothario was not the only person to receive that grant.
No, I was one of them as well.
There were many people that received that grant. But how many millionaires turned out of that bunch?
Unfortunately, not a lot. Because
this is life. This is
what happened. There was no follow-up. There was no proper mentorship. A lot of people got money, squandered it, and didn't do it. Like last year, I was a part of a program, both Travis and I, where we gave grants to young entrepreneurs as well. Breezy was one of the recipients of that.
Okay.
So I was very pleased when I saw Breezy got their money and actually put the advice and mentorship that came out of that program into his business model, and actually delivered on a package effective model where he has employees. And that's always a good sign of a program that works. I wish we would have more of it. And during my discussion, I said, you know what? Yes, 5,000, 10,000 is nice, but we need to actually give decent capital so we could have people coming up with effective, innovative ideas that could help change the landscape, because entrepreneurs, we drive economies. Right? We buy local. We buy services from smaller businesses, so we keep the money flowing. And without us, these economies will collapse.
I agree. Now, my issue with the whole situation is we continue to sell dreams.
Yes.
And we continue to be short-sighted, and we continue to search for instant gratification. We want instant results right away, right here, right now. And the reality of the situation is that is not how entrepreneurship works.
No, it's work.
It's not only work, but it's a very long, grueling process.
Yes, it is.
And we seem to always want to skip this process and just get to the results. And this is why I think we have been unsuccessful in this area.
And this is why politicians continue election cycle in, election cycle out, take advantage of these people, because they want that it now.
But that's the issue we don't address, is that we've created this culture where we want this instant gratification. People don't want to hear no long-term plan. They don't want to hear, okay, maybe after 10 years, you start to see your business start to bloom, and you start to, really, really make some money. They want to hear, listen, how much money? This is why the loom was so big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instant gratification. That's what people want. We have a culture. We've created now a culture of lazy, entitled individuals who just want results without the process. And my issue was their statement was only catering to this mindset.
Right.
And that's what my issue was.
Flashed it on and said, this is not liquid millions that we're talking about. We're talking about network. We're talking about putting the value of Crown land up so you could actually use it as collateral, because you know how much people sitting on Crown land or have access to generation property but can't use it to get business loans at the bank, because the banks just won't look at it. But the minute it is turned over to a foreigner, it's suddenly worth $1.4 million. You know what I mean? So actually having that, and net worth is just as important as liquid cash.
But that was my major issue, is like I said, they were catering to this instant gratification entitlement just because you as a Bahamian, you should be. And it's like this thing that Graham Weatherford always says, right? And I hate every time he says it. And it's like, oh, we got oil. This our oil. We as Bahamians, every Bahamian should be getting $100,000 a year. So it's every Bahamian, just because we got oil, we supposed to all of a sudden just be rich. So every Bahamian could sit home, scratch their nuts, and eat nachos, watching TV, and just have $100,000 roll into their account every year. I hate selling people this nonsense. Now, ain't nobody saying that this ain't possible, right?
It is possible.
But this ain't something that you're supposed to be selling.
Right.
Because we already seem to be a lazy, entitled, laid-back society.
I would prefer, this is what I prefer, if we did reap the benefits of our natural resources the way we should have been doing for the last, I would say, 40, 50 years with Aragonite and all this stuff, we should have free education from kindergarten to tertiary, right?
Okay.
We should have longer maternity leaves with pay. We should have a universal healthcare system, not 2 weeks before an election rolling out for full comprehensive healthcare. You understand? I would rather the money go towards that and run an efficient government and maintaining all these buildings that are dilapidated and not increasing our taxes so we can continue to keep this country going. That's what I would rather instead of giving me personally a check.
And this is why I was asking you, okay, with this stimulus, like, who is the money going to? What qualifies you to get this money, and how much money will you be getting? What would be the follow-up? Like, what's the process?
Here's the thing. I don't know the exact thing because I'm not the leader of the DNA or whatever the case may be. But the fact, I've seen what economic stimulus can do when administered correctly. Like Obama used it to help recover the automotive industry, right? So if let's just say half of that 500 million goes to a program for budding entrepreneurs that want to either expand their business or take an idea in different industries like solar or whatever the case may be, and those people, once they have a proper business plan, they have the expertise certifications to execute this plan, and they get X amount of money to start their stuff with property or whatever. I could see that going to them. I don't know what this economic stimulus is going to be, but I would like to see it happen in something like that. Like expand the self-starter program with bigger capital grants, like for realistic projects that could help grow the small business community.
Yeah, but one I saw,
but I'm not a politician. I'm not running this election.
I saw the reaction. Like, some people were reacting to us. I would consider myself to be a skeptic because I think the numbers are ridiculous, and I didn't hear any feasible plan to make it happen, right? And they were like, oh, y'all people with this slave mentality, y'all don't think that people could do certain things. And I'm like, hold on.
Who said that?
A lot of people said it. Well, Juan was one of the people that said it. Juan McCartney said it. You know, he went on the radio and was like, you know, y'all got to scatter your mind of this slave mentality and out the gutter, and everybody shouldn't have to be poor and this and that.
No, everybody shouldn't have to be poor.
No, and I agree. But what I'm getting at is him, and it was somebody else that posted it. My phone cut off. I wanted to pull up. It was a post that I saved, where they started a thread saying the same thing. Basically, oh, y'all who laughing at the DNA with this plan, y'all just a slave-minded people who believe people are always supposed to stay poor. Listen, this just shows the limited scope that people operate mentally, right? Because someone is a skeptic of what was said does not necessarily mean that they don't believe
that it is possible. They just know that there are certain things that you have to do in order to make this thing. But
right, but and numbers can be ridiculous. It's like, Jay, it's like, okay, if you come to me and say, boy, Greg, listen, I could be on a G5 jet tomorrow with 400 million in my bank account, I can say, nah, Jay.
Really? I want you to look at me like,
Jay,
really?
Come on. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot attain $400 million in a G5 jet in your lifetime.
Right.
But if you come to me and say, I can have these things tomorrow, and you ain't say, well, how you going to make this happen?
What happened?
Then I'm going to be skeptical. I'm sorry.
And that's fine.
But this is the thing. They were like, that's not fine according to some of these people. According to them, we got a slave mentality for thinking that those numbers are ridiculous.
Okay, here's the thing. When you have people that are free thinkers and they know how to analyze situations for themselves, they are you're entitled to your opinion. So when you see someone that you respect as business people, as successful business people, throwing out numbers that you deem ridiculous, you have a right to question it.
Right.
You're not questioning, is it possible or do we have a need for it? You're questioning how realistic is it?
Exactly.
Not just saying that the program itself is a bad idea.
Exactly.
It's just the feasibility and how it's going to be administered.
Exactly. And given the climate too, people don't take the current climate into consideration.
Yeah.
Because you got to be aware of our culture, right? Culture is very important. I think culture drives damn near everything, right? Culture drives societies. And with the culture that we currently have, I don't see it happening. Because there are many people with a slave mentality in this country. There are many people that don't believe that they could achieve certain things.
Right.
That's I mean, very prevalent in this society across all sectors. They don't believe that they could achieve certain things. So yes, they were right, but I think they were pinning that label to the wrong people.
Right.
Now, some people, maybe it was true who they were referring to, but not everyone.
Everybody has that mentality.
Not everybody that laughs or is skeptical about 500 millionaires a year. Because I wanted to.
Because 500 millionaires a year is ridiculous because you cannot manufacture will to be an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
And it's the same reaction that we had when Minna said he's going to create 1,000 entrepreneurs per year.
And then you know what? That's even that one. I think
that's worse.
I think that's better.
What, entrepreneurs?
Yes. Here's why.
I don't.
Here's why. All two are bad, right? Both are bad.
You mean with how it's packaged?
Exactly.
Okay.
Both packaging was terrible, but here's why I say the 500 millionaires thing is worse than the entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Because anybody could be an entrepreneur or call themselves an entrepreneur. Anybody could take a couple dollars and start a business. But what a millionaire implies is that you are a successful business. You understand? You have made an excess of $1 million. So, a person starting a business versus a person that has made millions in a business, what do you think is more feasible?
Okay. I hold entrepreneurs to a higher standard because I know the work that goes into it. I don't feel that a lot of people have. I don't think a lot of people have the ability to stick it out long term, bigger picture. Because it took me 10 years to get to this point where am I?
Right.
And a lot of people have quit. Right. I feel the millionaires aspect is a lot. It's easier to attain with the right ingredients because we're not talking about in hand $1 million, $2 million. We're talking about network. We're talking about nurturing and helping people have access.
You think a millionaire is easier?
I could be
to quote unquote manufacture than an entrepreneur.
Okay, here's the thing. A real entrepreneur, because like you said, anybody could slap the label onto it. If an entrepreneur, just say me and you.
But technically, if you take your own money, you take a risk and you start a business, you are an entrepreneur. Those are the requirements. That's the basic definition.
I would say that's someone taking a risk.
That's a basic. That's what exactly. So it's easier.
I don't want to slap that name on it because I take it too seriously, especially as someone that took risks, took a lot of hits, overcome those obstacles, and then started to succeed. I think I'm personally going to be one. And it doesn't matter if the DNA government is in, if the PA... Oh, God, I can't believe I was about to say that. It doesn't matter what government is in power. Within the next 5 years, it is my goal to be a millionaire. Right? And that's not... Don't come hit me up for no money. Things still could be tight. But I'm going to improve my net worth to that status.
But you know what the thing is? You know what the important thing is, what you said, right? It don't matter what government in power. And this is our problem, and especially in this country, is that we are too dependent on government.
Yes.
Right? We're reliant on the government. Oh, the government must do this thing. In order for me to be successful or my business to succeed, the government have to do this, the government have to do that. This is our problem. And this is another reason why I don't buy the crazy number that was thrown out. It's because you could put the best policies in place. However, if you don't work on your people, if you don't work on the culture in your country and adjust the mindset that they have, it'll all be for moot, right? You have to deal with the education of the populace and the culture and the way they think. So if you have people that don't believe that they can be successful, it don't matter how wonderful policies you put in place, it ain't gonna happen, because you need that as an entrepreneur. Now, you know this. You need that drive.
Yes, you do.
You need that determination. You need that stickability.
Yep.
It's so much required for you to be. This is why I was so disappointed in the statement, because they made it sound so easy. Like, oh yeah, we can change this policy and boom, we can just start having millionaires popping out the ground. It don't work like that.
In order for you to understand and yes, I agree. Whatever they said was packaged by, because if someone of your caliber could pick up on the nonsense, it must have been really bad, right?
That's terrible, man. And it's obvious.
I would encourage anybody that seriously wants to understand this situation or this statement to go and look at the policies that could help make new millionaires happen in this country. Go on the DNA, do your research. You could read it for yourself, make your own determination.
Trust, you know what the government could do to make more millionaires in this country?
Tell me, Greg.
Get the flick out the way.
True.
Get out the way.
Okay.
Government in this country is too involved in every single aspect and sector of society.
I agree with that.
Government is too large.
I agree with that.
We are too heavily taxed.
I agree with that also.
So if government really wants to create a bunch of new millionaires, get out the way, eh? Push out.
Move.
Get out the way.
Move.
Get out the way. We need to shrink government. We got to stop. And I know people don't like that because you know what that means.
Fight layoffs.
You got to have layoffs. Because but that's what people don't realize, and a lot of people don't realize how government functions, right? My thing is, okay, for government to keep giving out these jobs, who do you think paying these salaries for these jobs?
Us. On higher taxes.
And the government is the worst thing to invest in. The government is the worst investment you could ever make, because the government don't make no money for itself. The government don't generate income.
And unfortunately,
their big mainstream of income is through taxation. Where does taxation come from? The citizens. So they suck from you in order to sustain themselves. So government is the worst investment you can make. This is why we have this large debt that we have. Government is too freaking big. There's no way you should be
the largest
borrowing
in the country.
Hundreds of millions of dollars just to pay salaries. That is ridiculous. So if government wants to really create more millionaires, get out the way. Streamline these processes for people to get their business licenses. Because it's ridiculous what you have to go through. You got to run to this building, then go to this building and get a letter from this person. It's too much hassle. Make it easier. They taxing on the gross. Now that's one good thing I heard them say while I was on the show. The DNA say they can remove that.
And have it a fixed fee.
Right. So you don't tax on the gross. That's a good thing to do.
I love that.
Yes. This government needs to get out of the way. Allow the private sector and capitalism to work.
Yeah.
Allow the system to work. But the government keeps clogging the system.
Because they want to have their own interest in it.
Exactly.
For them.
And this is the problem. So the government ain't going to make no millionaires. The government is not going to make millionaires. I'm sorry. It isn't going to happen. Government don't make jobs. The only jobs they create is through direct hiring. And that's where we pay for.
You don't think certain policies could help even the landscape to help people that know how to take advantage of certain situations?
Sure.
Millionaires?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So that's the right language.
Sure.
I think existing entrepreneurs like yourself, me and yourself, could take advantage of certain policies changing to increase our net worth and to increase our business operations.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. And a lot of those policies would be for them to remove themselves from a lot of these processes. You understand? That's at least that's how I feel personally, the way I see it.
Yeah,
it's too much.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's too much government overreach.
Read some of the comments and questions.
Well, my phone just come back up so I can look. I can look right now. That's why, like, y'all gotta bear with me with this little bubbler. Next week I can have a different phone. See, I ain't even share the video to the thing on page yet.
Greg, come on, man. Falling down, Greg.
Hey, listen, people. Let me tell y'all something. And this goes to entrepreneurship too, right? Y'all thinking the government can just stroke a pen and you could be a millionaire? Garbage. I asked Jay what time he think I wake up, right? What time you say, Jay?
I said 4 o'clock in the morning.
And you know what I told Jay? I woke up at 11:50 last night.
So he started his day yesterday.
My day started last night.
Yesterday.
Yes. Ain't stopped yet. Been up and down. I've been baking and delivering all day. I've been on the road delivering for at least about 4 hours, right? This is the grind you have to do in the beginning. And not every situation.
No.
Not everybody have to wake up 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning.
But if you really want to take advantage of your sector, that's what you do.
If you want to succeed and you don't make excuses like, oh, well, I don't have people to help and this and that, and you're going to do it yourself, there are sacrifices you're going to have to make, and these are one of the sacrifices. I have to sacrifice sleep. And time with family at times and all kind of stuff. These are things that I have to do, and this is part of the process that these people tend to ignore anytime they come with these dreams that they selling to people. There's a process you have to go through. There's no shortcut, and I hate them trying to paint this picture that it's just this little shortcut through this dirt road we got to take, and then everybody could be a millionaire.
Here's the thing, and this is going to be me spinning, and I guess all political parties could take this. There's a free one from Jay. The problem with the dream selling scenario where they have to spit out X amount of words to grab your attention is because our electorate, especially our electorate, has been miseducated. So we, like you said, we talked about instant gratification. We only know pretty words and we gravitate towards them. So in this instance, where these guys may know that it's worth to attain a certain level of success and all that stuff, and they know that they have to do certain XYZ policies, that's why they put it in their book or manifesto or vision 2017, whatever you want to call it. They know that the elite or the educated are going to read it and then make their decision. But for the ones that they want, they need that vote, that black belt vote or whatever, they have to use pretty words like, I'm going to make you a millionaire.
But they got to stop that. They got to stop that.
I don't know in the way they said it. So I can't say exactly how they said it.
You're selling dreams, and when you got to stop. We've been selling dreams long enough in this country, and now people expecting that. That's what created this instant gratification that we have in this society now, is because people constantly selling dreams that this can happen tomorrow.
Okay, so do you want them not to sell dreams and not be able to compete? Because the people that they trying to sell the dreams and attract to them are greater than you and I.
I don't want them to sell dreams. I don't want them to lie. I don't want them to deceive. This is what we have been doing for the past 50 years, Jay. And look where it's gotten us. But it's not working.
But politics this level of politics that we have in this country calls for a certain level of, I would say, and this is me spinning.
But this is the problem.
This is me spinning. This is it takes
all you do is describing the problem. You just
of gaminess.
You just describing the problem.
And I don't, like I said, I don't know what was said. All I know is what I interpreted it as. I know it pricked me to go and read.
Well, let me
understand.
Let me ask this question. Jazzy, how you pronounce this last name? I don't even think I can try it.
Just say Jazzy.
Yeah, I can just say Jazzy. Jazzy wants to know, what is the difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman?
Okay. I feel an entrepreneur, for me, is a sole proprietor that has... I say an entrepreneur is a sole proprietor that has a small entity. I think Greg is an entrepreneur, right? If Greg expands and becomes a deli that has 3 or 4 locations, and he isn't responsible for 20 employees, I call Greg a businessman.
Okay,
I think a businessman is in charge of an entire operation enterprise, machinery, human resources, all that stuff. I think entrepreneurs are photographers, videographers, anything
you think
self-sustaining
a self-employed person,
right,
to you as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Okay, I disagree.
Okay.
I think an entrepreneur is any person that takes their own money and takes risks to grow their money. Okay. And creates businesses, right? I think a businessman is who the entrepreneur hires to run the business, to manage. Okay. The entrepreneur is the person with the vision for the company, where they take the risks. They are the person responsible. They started, and they hire
the founders.
They hire businessmen. Now, entrepreneurs are businessmen in a lot of respects too. You know what I mean? So you have to be a businessman to a certain degree to be an entrepreneur. But I think a businessman really deals with numbers, handling the business,
The closers.
running the business, the papers, all of that good stuff, and making business decisions, maybe on the board and do stuff like that to help make decisions. But I think the entrepreneur is the person that ultimately takes that great risk, and that's what I feel the difference is between an entrepreneur and a businessman.
That's a very you should actually write that down and put that somewhere. That's a good definition. I like that.
So I think that's what it is. I hope that answers your question, Chazi. Stefan Grant asks, y'all responding yet? I don't know what they mean. What we responding to? Keith asking, where Travis to rein y'all in? Well, Travis don't want to get he don't want to get involved in any form of politics whatsoever.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either. But he don't want to get involved in politics. I understand it. I respect it. That's his choice, and I get why. I know how we go in this country. So and Jazzy is responding, good answer. So without the entrepreneur, the businessman can't make it. No,
not necessarily.
No.
Businessmen can find their way.
Businessmen can always make it.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like I say, it can be the two. Like a businessman and entrepreneur often go hand in hand. So a businessman can become an entrepreneur when he then decides to take his money and start his own business. He could then become an entrepreneur. So it's not a matter of businessman not being able to make it without an entrepreneur.
And a lot of businessmen are big businesses like corporations and all that stuff.
Like a CEO.
Yeah.
A CEO
is a businessman.
Is a businessman.
Yeah.
This is the person who the entrepreneur hires to run the business.
Yeah,
do
and
it
grow
every
the
day.
business. Yes.
But a CEO could then branch off and start his own business and become an entrepreneur as well. So it doesn't have to be either or.
Right.
You know what I mean? But anyhow, we do enough time. We about a half hour in. Jay, a good conversation. Again,
Is this short?
Yeah, this is a short one.
Oh wow!
Entrepreneur is only half hour to 40 minutes. Not that long.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, the whole thing with the situation, I just didn't like the whole dream selling, the false promises, and people usually buy into these things. Like you got to really look beneath and really ask the necessary questions to find out exactly how do you intend to make these things happen. You know what I mean? Because it has to make sense. Ambition is good, and because somebody doesn't agree with what someone says when it comes to some ambition that they have, that doesn't mean that they don't think that their ambition is unattainable or impossible. But they just maybe require more information, or the way you presented it maybe didn't make sense to them, and so they are skeptical. There's nothing wrong with that, because I saw people going off on Facebook on people that were skeptics. There's nothing wrong with being a skeptic, but you got to understand that some people just require more context.
Right. And here's the thing. And this is for those that require more context, if you cannot reach that person per se, and that information is in the public domain, there is something we call Google. Please research your information. Don't rely and be lazy and feel that you should be catered to and this person should come to you and do your research. And if you find something that you don't like, then make your decision. If you find something that you do like, then go ahead. Yeah.
And listen, people, it ain't easy to make $1 million.
No, it's not.
Nobody's saying it's impossible. Anybody, I believe anybody put their mind to it. They got a good idea. They good at what they do, and they stick with it.
And they work hard.
They work hard. They put in the work. They could be a millionaire. But
it's
don't
a process.
And usually a very long process.
Yes.
So don't buy into anybody selling you nonsensical dreams that you could be a millionaire tomorrow, and don't provide any kind of way to do it. You can be a millionaire.
You know the trick is?
What's the trick?
Most people if they accumulate their life's wages, they probably hit millionaire status.
If that, maybe not.
It depends.
Because I mean, shoot, when you look at it, if an average salary may be around $15,000 a year in this country,
okay, scratch that. So, sorry, guys.
Think about that. $1 million is a lot of money. We ain't saying that you can't make it, but there are a lot of things you have to do, a lot of sacrifices you have to make in order to do it, and it just ain't cut out for everybody. Everybody is not cut out to be a millionaire.
And in this instance, they were not talking about million like in your hand in your bank account. We're talking about net worth, people, and you should know the difference. I think y'all should talk about net worth on a show.
Yeah, we'll probably do it on another topic. But anyhow, let's wrap this one up. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. As you see, like I say, Gail somewhere chilling, and Travis break off running. So you come through in the clutch. Good show, good topic. And until next time, people, you know what we always say: losers make excuses, winners make adjustments. Stop making excuses, and don't think you can be a millionaire tomorrow. But you can be a millionaire in your lifetime if you continue to work at it and you go through the process. Thank you for tuning in.
No one to sing the after show?
No one to say after show?
Oh God, remix.